I call the honourable member Peseta Sam Lotu-Iiga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Talofa lava, and it's a pleasure to stand to take a call on this bill, sir. And because this bill, sir, is critical to the agenda that our government has to help those in need, to help deliver quality services, and to help provide an environment where jobs and opportunities are readily available. Sir, I support the extensive work that our Minister of Housing, the Honourable Dr. Nick Smith, is doing in this area. He's outlined some of the key steps around reforming housing in this country. And I'm also glad that Mr. Twyford is supporting this bill. I don't know whether Mr. Twyford actually is really supporting the bill or whether he's following instructions from Mayor Len Brown to support his part in this accord. Sir, you will hear the cries of protest from Mr. Twyford and the other opposition members. And as the Attorney-General calls them, these simplistic creatures, they wish to attack that which they don't understand. But what New Zealanders understand, sir, is that over the course of the last Labour government, house prices ballooned, interest rates skyrocketed, and ordinary Kiwi families were pushed further and further out of the housing market. From 1999 to 2008, interest rates went up from just under 3% to over 8%. Inflation went from just above zero in 2000 to over 3% in 2008. Sir, median house prices in Auckland went from $235,000 in 1999 to almost double $450,000 in 2008. So it's no wonder hard-working New Zealand families were unable to get on the ladder of property ownership under the last Labour government. But compare that, sir, to the John Key-led National Government. We've delivered the lowest interest rates for over 50 years, the lowest inflation since 1999, and it is under 1%, sir. We've continued economic growth on the back of a global economic crisis. That, sir, is better than many of our trading partners across the globe. But those opposite have a shameful record on housing, leaving some of our most vulnerable families on the scrap heap of inadequate, old, cold and mouldy state and social housing. That is their record, sir. That is their legacy from the last time they were over here on the government benches. And I would say Michael Joseph Savage would be disgusted at the contempt that the current Labour front benches, like Mr. Robertson, have for hard-working New Zealand families. I've seen it in my own electorate of Maungakiekie, in Tamaki, where our national government has had to transform the local housing stock to make them warmer, cleaner and larger for those in need, Mr. Robertson. The Heat Smart program has provided insulation for over 230,000 families. And I see the Honourable Jerry Brownlee is here. He was instrumental in improving the lives of those families across this country. And this budget improves the lives of 40,000 more. You can't trust Labour on housing, Order. Just like you can't trust Labour on the economy. In 2005, and the Speaker knows it, the Labour Party were talking about sustainable housing supply, affordability, housing quality, yet they did nothing. They issued reports, they had a bunch of meetings, a couple of huis, workshops, policy discussions. And all the time that Grant Robertson, Jacinda Ardern and Chris Hipkins were merely skipping around the beehive, tugging at the apron strings of Mother Helen. Real New Zealanders were hurting. Real New Zealanders wanted some action, and real New Zealanders got nothing. So real New Zealanders wanted a government that cared about what the issues that mattered to them. They got that in 2008 when they installed this pragmatic, stable and forward-looking national government. National has a busy program of housing policies that will make a real difference to New Zealanders. And we're addressing the root causes, as the Minister alluded to, freeing up land supply through this bill. We're launching an inquiry into building materials, construction costs. Substantive changes to the RMA are coming up, and working on development levies and better coordination of core infrastructure. But we can't say the same about the Labour Party. They've come up with this gimmick of a policy called Kiwi Build. 100,000 homes in 10 years, all at the plum price of $300,000 per home. Well, Mr. Twyford says that they are spooked But what New Zealanders are really asking is how the Labour Greens plan will be able to build a house in Auckland for $300,000 when the average land price alone is $350,000. What are they going to put on these sections, Mr Twyford? A tent? Maybe one of those playhouses from Toy World. But sir, with respect, their slogans won't meet the needs of real New Zealanders looking for real homes. Unless they address the issue of land supply, which this bill does, their policy, like many others, will be consigned to the depths of the nearest recycling bin. On the other hand, our government is clearly working with Auckland Council so that we can build issue land supply and housing affordability and get that across the line in the near future. Our Minister has laid out our expectations for the housing sector, and we're not ashamed to be ambitious, but also realistic. So what the Productivity Commission talked about in their report, it's about current land restrictions, it's about charging for infrastructure and looking at excessive building costs and low productivity. The International Monetary Fund, the Treasury, the Reserve Bank have all said so much, and that's why we're acting right now. This government, sir, stands on its record. The budget delivers more for all New Zealanders, ensuring bolder, brighter and better future. This Housing Accord bill will deliver New Zealand's largest city with the opportunity to meet the housing needs of thousands of families who need affordable housing. Mr Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
I call the Honourable Member Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr.